Alright guys, let's look at another one that might feel a little easy. We're going to go through a couple of the easy ones first just to help warm up our brains since you guys have been out of school for like 3 weeks now. So let's look at 6 divided by 10. Think in your head, what fraction would we write this as? If we were to write 6 divided by 10 as a fraction, it would look like this. 6 in the numerator and 10 in the denominator because we know that fraction bar means division. This also says 6 divided by 10. Now let's go ahead and write that in our house. 6 divided by 10. Right away we notice a problem. When we look at this, we cannot fit 10 into 6 any times. 0 times. It is not going to work. What we need to do is create an equivalent decimal. Let's give this 6 more digits so that we have more space to work with. Right away, anytime we put a decimal into our dividend, we also want to put it into our quotient in the exact same place. It's always going to go in that exact same place. So there it goes. Pop it right up. Now we can say 10 goes into 60 how many times? Or 10 times equals 60. That's right, let's go ahead and try 6 times. 6 times 10 is going to equal 60. We will subtract and we will have nothing left over. Now remember what we really did here was still said how many times does 10 go into 6? And we came up with 6/10 times 10 is going to equal 6. Alrighty, so that is going to give us an answer right here. Very nice work. Let's look at another one. Five divided by 20. If we write this in fraction form, this would be 5 over 20. Some of you guys might be thinking that we can simplify that. We could, and then when we did our division, we would get the exact same answer. If we simplified this, this is also equal to 1/4. All right, let's check our work with that and do some division. We know that 20 is greater than 5, so we know that 20 can't go into 5 any times, so we are going to create our equivalent decimal here. Now, how many times can 20 go into 50? If 20 goes into 50, let's see, I can just think of that as 2's. 2, 4, that means I'm going to count 20, 40, 60. I know 60 would be too much, so let's stop at 2. 2 times 20 would be 40, and I am going to have 1 left over, but it's going to look a little bit more like this. Now, I'm going to have the same problem. 20 can't go into 10 because it's bigger. So what do I need to do? If you said create another equivalent decimal, then you've got it. We're going to add another 0 right here because 5 is equal to 5 and 0/10, and it's also equal to 5 and 0/100. Now I can drop that 0 down. How many times does 20 go into 100? You can think of that counting by 2's or counting by 20's. If I count by 20's, I would count 0, then 20, 40, 60, 80, 100. If you were counting along with me, then you know that was 5 times. 5 times 20 equals 100. When we subtract, we will have nothing left over. Beautiful. We can check our work with this equivalent fraction here. We created this fraction and said it was the same. So that's a great way to check our work. We would do our little house right here, and 1 divided by 4. 4 can't fit into 1 any times. It is too big, so we're going to create our equivalent decimal. How many times can 4 fit into 10? 4, 8, 12. We know that 3 times would be too much, so let's go with 2 times. Always got to remember to include that decimal right above where it is in your dividend here. 2 times 4 equals 8. Subtract 10, take away 8 equals 2. 4 can't go into 2 anytime, so what do I need to do? I need to create another equivalent decimal here and drop down my 0. How many times does 4 go into 20? If you said 5, you are right with me. There we go, 25 hundredths. This is exciting because these two are the same. So it proves that we did our answer correctly. This is a really important skill to practice for a variety of reasons, but one reason is to make sure that we aren't accidentally mistaking which fractions are equal to which decimals, which could be really tricky in the future. So let's keep practicing.